Hello there. This is going to be the first of a series of tutorial or guide videos about the items that you can use in GRPGA to create things, to create your characters and whatnot. But first I'm going to quickly describe the situation about the different rule sets and sheets that are supported. The core one, the original one, was created for GURPS, which I'm calling 3D6, and has this list of items that you can see in the All Items tab that are able to be created. The next rule set that I used was for D&D 3.5, which I'm calling D20, generalizing to D20 because it does more than just that. And it has a slightly different set of items. They are really the same items that are in some cases, some of them aren't present, but others are simply repurposed and renamed. Then we have the most recent addition, which is Against the Dark Master, with a very different look. And this one I've been spending a fair bit of time on. And it has yet another list using the same background items that were created for GURPS, but renaming them for the purposes of the Against the Dark Master rule set. So, that aside, I'm going to start with primary attributes, start with the top and the first things. And what I'm going to do is create one and show you how they work and why they work. So, we'll create a primary attribute called Foobery. We have to give it an abbreviation because for primary attributes, other things refer to them by their abbreviation, not by their name. We're going to give it an attribute. It says value, but it's actually an attribute of 12. And we describe it, and you can see the note is brought up in a tooltip. So this primary attribute item was created in the 3D6 rule set, but it's just as useful in the D20 rule set, and just as useful in the Against the Dark Master rule set. There is a difference in the way rule sets treat primary attributes, but basically they have to be referred to by exactly their abbreviation, case insensitive. The attribute is actually translated into the value, which is the thing that is used by other things. In the case of the D20 system, the attribute is not stored as the value. The modifier is stored as the value. And we can see that when we look at it in a different view. Oops, checks, that's where it is. So here, it's just 12, which is the attribute value. Here it's 12, but it shows that it's resulting in a +1 modifier. This is the one system that deals with that modification of the attribute into a different value that is used by other things. So when other things refer to the value of this primary attribute, they're referring to the +1, not the 12. In other systems, it's the 12 that's being used as the reference. So, and I'll be covering those in other videos about those other things like modifiers and skills and so on. But what I do want to cover quickly is one modifier type, which is the primary attribute modifier. And it is somewhat special because it is the very first modifier that is calculated. Of all of the things, and remember I said you need to refer to it using the abbreviation. Case insensitive doesn't matter. So there we are. I've created an attribute modifier, or a primary attribute modifier, that will modify something whose abbreviation has the letters FOO. When I turn it on, it modifies it immediately. If I change it to simply FO, it has no effect whatsoever. So it has to be an exact match, but case insensitive. So, and there we go, it's back to 14. Now, if I drag this over to here, we're not going to be able to see foobery as a primary attribute because it's not one of the main stats, but the modifier shows up where it should. So I can't even roll it there. So that's not going to work for a demonstration purpose. But when I drag it here, you can see that the number changes to 14 and the modifier goes to +2, just like it should in D&D. That's about all I have to say about primary attributes and their modifiers, except to reiterate, primary attribute modifiers affect the primary attributes before any other calculations are made, because other things refer to the value of the modified value of the primary attribute. So you have to modify it first, and then they can see the modified value. Thanks very much. Cheers.